Hey, everyone, and welcome to Building with Vitality, the podcast that's all about helping you live your best life.
And we're your hosts, Nikki and Paige. We're going to give you all the tools to help build a life that's full of vitality. Let's dive in. Welcome back to Building with Vitality. Today, we are talking about how to build a workout regimen that works for you.
How to build and maintain a workout regimen.
And I do have to do one plug. So Nikki is releasing a bunch of really awesome PDFs around this that she's actually been working on probably for over a decade at this point and just never launched them. And I actually sat with her yesterday. This is transparency, everybody. I was like, you need to freaking launch this. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, I have been around the block when it comes to workouts. I feel like I've tried everything. I've done everything. I have my health science degree, my personal trainer's license. I've done a ton of holistic wellness.
And she was just sitting on this stuff.
Yes. And so, but a lot of it was I've just cultivated. It's kind of a mix of everything that I've learned and what's worked for me.
Yeah. So I'm excited to dive in with her. And then, of course, I'm just going to throw in some random things.
Oh, yeah, because you have a great workout regimen and you live this as well.
Well, what's funny is I think back to why I do. And one, it goes back to if you did sports growing up, I think it just like innately is in you.
Yeah, it helps you cultivate that discipline.
Yes, but I also think like a lot of it is environment. So if it's something that your siblings do or your parents do, like if you grow up with it, you're definitely more likely to stick with it. So when just to kick this off, I was thinking back in preparation for this episode, how long have I been working out? Let's see, Well, I was a dancer, of course. And then I ended up getting into running. And then I remember my, first relationship that I had, I think senior year of high school. I remember he made me go to the gym and he made me lift weights. And I'm like, what is this? Like, I'm a runner, you know? And that was the first moment that I actually felt so powerful and so happy with myself.
Yeah.
Because I started to see even like the little biceps grow, right?
Yeah.
Like you start to feel strong. You notice that you can lift heavier things and it becomes more of like, I don't love the word like empowerment, but like it becomes really empowering.
Yeah, it's very
to
empowering.
Strength train. And so, I've been strength training for a very, very, very long time now. Thank you to my high school boyfriend.
Yes.
for
that
helping
is
me
great.
lift.
Yeah. And that's the thing is a lot of times, however people get introed into it, it's like, who cares now that it was that, you know? And it did start as you just doing it because he wanted to do it, but now you've cultivated it as you understand the science behind it. It's for yourself.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
Yeah.
And it just makes you feel really, really good when you're prioritizing yourself.
100%.
So Nikki, dive in, lady, because you have a million things.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So first and foremost, if you do not understand the science, like the deep, deep science of how important exercise is, especially lifting weights, we're not going to dive into that a ton in this episode, but I will just say that it is honestly one of the best things that you can do for your metabolism, your bone density, sleeping better, your confidence. Like I could go on and on and on. Your mental health. There are so many benefits to working out, lifting weights especially. So if I were, a lot of times people ask like, oh, what's the perfect workout set? Like what's the perfect way to work out? And I would say, especially if you are just starting from scratch, the best way is something that is maintainable for you. So whatever
so you Zumba lovers.
Exactly. Like first and foremost, move your body. Just, I love the phrase movement is medicine because it is. So, okay. Diving in to first and foremost, number one is your why. So a lot of times people will start a workout program or they'll be all gung-ho, especially, you know, we all know the New Year's resolutions. And then, it's kind of like a joke of, oh, now February, like, is anyone still doing them? And the important thing is to understand that we all feel motivated at certain times in like the day, in our lives, but motivation is not lasting.
Yeah.
It's discipline and habits that are lasting.
And it's making it your number one priority.
Exactly. So do I feel like working out every single day? Like, do I have the motivation to work out? No, absolutely not. But what keeps me going is my why of understanding, one, like I understand the deep, deep science of how beneficial exercise is for my body. But then two, I know that if I'm taking care of myself, I can show up better in all of these other areas of my life. Like that is my life's mantra. And that is what I want to spread to the world of it is not selfish to take care of yourself, especially working out, because it helps your energy levels. It helps, you know, all the things that I mentioned.
That should honestly be everyone's why, truthfully.
Yes. Yeah. And so like sometimes you can get a little bit deeper of, okay, well, I want to be able to play with my kids. I want to be able to have enough energy to show up for my spouse. I want to, maybe you have a back issue. My sister struggles a lot with back issues. And so she consistently works out because it helps with her chronic back pain. So then she can show up better too. And so just kind of having that deep why.
I think a lot of people's why, if you're in the business world or you're an entrepreneur, is you will get 10 times better in business when you are healthy and fit.
Yes.
Like I stand by that 100%.
Oh yeah. That's why I wrote my thesis paper on corporate wellness. And I'm just like, if more companies truly deeply understood how important it is for their employees, for their mental health, physical health, for their productivity, to work out, like every single company would have a corporate wellness program. Like if you're involved in a company that does not have a corporate wellness program, you
let
need to
us
get
know.
One. Yeah,
we'll connect you.
So yeah, first and foremost, defining your why. So kind of understanding, okay, this is why I'm doing it.
What's number two?
Number two is to look at how you define yourself. So if I tell myself, oh, I'm just not that person that works out, I'm never going to get healthy. And you just kind of are like convinced that you're not a healthy person.
Overweight parents or overweight. It's like you've been overweight all your life. And so you have that mindset around, oh, well, I'm not going to ever be.
Yes.
Da, 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 da.
Yeah. Then you're not, because you've already decided. So decide that that's what you want to be and define yourself as a healthy person. So in my mind, it's just never a question. I'm always going to be a healthy person. I'm always going to be someone that works out. And that's just, it's literally not a question in my mind. I've created my life around just living an active lifestyle.
And that doesn't mean, like, again, it goes back to the lifestyle. That doesn't mean that you're going to be able to give so much time in the gym one year more than another year. Like there are seasons, we talk about that a lot, but it's still making sure you're maintaining it as your actual life grows.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? So
exactly.
Some days it's like, all right, when Nikki has a baby.
Yep. It's going to look a lot
Nikki
different.
might only get 20 minutes a day in, but she's still making it a priority versus now she can spend, an hour in the gym. So it's just being also okay with what you can do in that moment, but still making it a habit.
Right. Exactly. And so I love what you said, because it is like, it's a non-negotiable in my mind because I need it for my mental health. I probably do it more so for my mental health now than I do. I think the looks and being in shape physically is actually a secondary effect. If you're focused on that, that could potentially be your why. But for me, I just know that I feel better. And so even like the example that you gave of after I have a baby, like I'm going to do it for 20 minutes. Even when I travel, sometimes I know like, okay, this hotel workout is a little bit worthless. Like I'm not actually like building any muscle in this weight routine, but I'm doing it because I just feel better if I get a little bit of movement in. So but defining yourself of I am a healthy person, I am that type of person that works out is a very, very important thing to already believe that even maybe before you actually like have are doing all the things.
What is number 3, Nikki?
Okay. So number 3 is to go to the gym or whatever you're doing with a plan. So again, like there are time and seasons of life, But if you just show up to the gym or you just show up to your home gym and you have no clue what you're doing, that gets really, really overwhelming, especially if you're a beginner. Now where I'm at, I do actually go to the gym because I can kind of just like, I know.
And you have some sort of workout split where you're like, okay, today's upper body, I'm doing this.
Yeah. So I've been doing it for years and years. But if you're just starting out, you need to be following a plan. And so that could look like downloading a workout program, getting on an app. But it's very overwhelming to walk into a gym and not know what's going on. So go with a plan. The ideal situation is, again, kind of what I mentioned at the beginning, doing some sort of weights a couple times a week and then getting like a few days of cardio in. And I like to mix up my cardio because I use that just for fun.
Yeah.
So I used to run all the time, but now sometimes I'll run, sometimes I'll walk, sometimes I'll hike. We were talking the other day about going and doing a Zumba class, going and doing a spin class.
Yeah, like make it fun and enjoyable.
Exactly. Doing something that you enjoy. Our friend Jess, she was like, she would always joke that she hates cardio. And I'm like, no, you just haven't done something that you love enough. And now she's obsessed with going on bike rides. Because it's nature, it gets her out. And so
she helps with this side too. So she does a lot of strength training.
Yes.
And she has programs out as well.
Yeah.
I think like for beginners and even like mid-tier, it's also just a good reminder to just get back on something. But I would say if you are a beginner, it is really good to just get someone who physically can make sure that they're there and show you how to lift properly.
Right.
Because I think so many people get on all of these plans and they try to copy, and there are so many people that are showing you lifting that are doing it incorrectly.
Yes.
And it gives me anxiety when I see it. So yes, like don't just jump right into a plan until you have a foundation of like actually knowing how to lift properly, because that can actually do more harm than good in the future.
It's true. The absolute ideal situation is to work with a really good personal trainer or a friend that knows a lot about lifting weights, who can watch your form and
accountability partner.
And yes, exactly. One of the best things that I did when I started filming my workouts for Instagram and YouTube, it was actually really helpful for me to see the videos of my form.
Yeah.
Because even in the mirror and even when someone was watching me from different angles, I'm like, wait, my elbow is like that far out? I had no idea.
Yeah.
And so I always, whenever I'm lifting weights, I always am lifting weights in front of a mirror because I like to see my form and make sure that everything looks
I even
good.
love like when we went with, so like our friend Jess, she does a bunch of cool stuff.
Yeah.
But when we went with her last time, I feel like both of us were doing this a lot. Like, how does this look? Like, cause we're looking good, right?
No, exactly.
We haven't had someone tell us in like a decade, right? Like we're just freaking going at it. And sometimes it's like, okay, I need like a reminder. This is looking good, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
good.
when I competed, I worked with a personal trainer a lot
and
I've had mine. Yeah. So it's super helpful though.
It is like, it's just a good reminder because you can get into the motions again. And even people like us that have been doing it forever, and even Nikki, who was literally a personal trainer, like you're not going to be perfect.
Right.
So you like, that's my recommendation is get someone who freaking calls you out. Like I have a gal that I work out with most Saturdays, and she has impeccable form, and she'll literally tell me like, hey, you're not like squeezing your back enough. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah. Well, even today, my back actually is a little bit sore because I did something at the gym that I shouldn't have. So I was doing Arnold's, which is a shoulder press, and then you kind of come in, and I always do it on the short bench that has the little back. And this girl was just camping out on the short bench. So I got impatient. I was like, I'm just going to use one of the benches that doesn't have a back. And of course, I kind of arched my back a little bit because I was using heavy weights. And I pulled my back and I know better. Yeah. And I'm just like, I should not have done that. And so, it is important, especially as you're lifting a little bit heavier, you need to have the correct form. Yeah. And so, having someone watch you is really, really helpful.
YouTube is a great trainer as well. Yes. So start with YouTube.
Yeah. And I will say, everyone, even trainers, I mean, when you're getting into the fitness and nutrition world, everyone has their viewpoints, and you may kind of like start diving into form, and people might have contradicting statements. I always just say like going back to the basics. Like you see some of these, Yeah, exactly. Like, and everyone's body's built a little bit differently too. So with squatting, sometimes if you have longer legs, it's a little bit different. And so again, like the ideal situation is working with someone that can watch you in person, that can kind of base your kind of like customize the form that you need.
The best investment you can make is in yourself, like truly. So I know it sounds like a lot. Oh, go get a trainer. Oh, go get a plan. Oh, do this. Well, it doesn't mean you need that forever, but it's like so many people will spend so much money getting a degree, going to these conferences, even like think about all of the people that are paying a bunch of money for their Botox or whatever, but they refuse to pay money to get on a meal plan or to have a trainer actually teach them how to do some of this properly. And it's just mind blowing to me because I'm just like, what are you doing? Like the more, and you like speak to this all the time, but it's like, again, you're going to be better off in all of these other areas. If you want to get better and you're spending all this money going to conferences, well, maybe try doing this area and putting more effort toward this and actually see how it extends into the rest of it.
Right. Yeah. I totally agree.
Truly.
Oh, 100%. Like the benefits that especially weightlifting has for your body. I'm like,
yeah, Nikki knows everything.
Yeah. We need to do a full episode on just the benefits of exercising and working out.
Throw out a little, like 2 right now.
So first and foremost, bone density. As we get older, we lose bone density. And I will say, especially when I was dealing with my eating disorder, I lost a lot of my bone density. Oh. And then I was able to gain that back through working out and building muscle.
Wait, that is wild.
Yeah.
That's
so
cool.
when it's called so you can get scans on your body here in Utah. There's a company called DEXA Scan, and they scan your muscle mass, your bone density. And mine was like above and beyond what it should be for my age when I got one, when I was competing. So I was working out a lot. And anyway, so it is really cool.
Whoa.
Yeah. And so it's interesting, you see, like I personally don't weigh myself because for me, working out is about how I feel, how my clothes are fitting, all of that. I think, someone was telling me actually the other day that I think the World Health Organization or some organization was talking about how your hip to waist ratio is they're now saying that that's a better qualifier than your BMI for how healthy a person is. And I'm like, yeah, duh. Because BMI, a lot of people will talk about your BMI. So your BMI is your height to weight ratio. So if you have someone that has a lot of muscle mass, they can technically be classified as overweight or morbidly obese on the BMI scale. Yeah. And so that's what's really interesting is that there are a lot of people, especially women, are so focused on weight. And they're like, oh, they freak out because they gained a pound or 2 or lost, whatever. And it's like our body does fluctuate based on the time of month that we are, like how much water we're maintaining. And so I go off of, again, like how my body's feeling and then also my inflammation level. Like I can tell when I'm retaining water. And so, it's just
bone density. That's a cool one.
Yeah.
Give us another.
Okay. Yeah, I got off topic a little bit. Okay. So, there's a scientist out there that talks a lot about how, when you are exercising and moving your body and basically contracting your muscles, it is literally releasing, like a chemical in your body that's creating happiness in you.
Yeah. The happiness. What did he call it?
The happiness chemical or something. And so literally it makes you happier. Like that
is so cool.
So yes, bone density helps you feel happier. And then kind of what you talked about too, of it just makes you feel like you can do hard things. So when you are physically lifting weights or running up a mountain or doing something, it's actually literally your body is saying, yeah, I can do this and I'm doing something hard. And so it helps you gain confidence. And we talked a little bit about that on our confidence episode, but you're literally lifting something heavy.
Yeah. No, I love that. Well, okay. What we're going to do is, how many PDFs are you going to be releasing?
We're going to have a few.
I'm putting her on the spot because I'm making her do this.
It's workouts, and then it's also gut health stuff, like some of the nutritional things too.
Okay, so we are going to have her release that when this podcast airs. Yes. Okay, everybody?
Yep.
And...
okay, I have a few more though too that are really practical tips. Okay, so another thing too is setting up your environment for success. So James Clear, who wrote the book Atomic Habits, he talks a lot about setting yourself up for success and creating your environment around you. So set out your clothes. If you're trying to work out in the morning, set your clothes out the night before. And then also, if you are trying to work out in the morning too, go to bed at a decent hour. If you can't get up in the morning, kind of work backwards of, okay, how am I setting myself up for success? So your mind can only handle so many decisions a day. And so if you already decide to yourself, okay, I'm going to work out tomorrow, and you have a set time, you set your clothes out, you're setting yourself up for success, it's a lot easier to actually do it when your mind is made up.
I had a friend who used to sleep in her workout clothes because it forced her to go to the gym in the morning.
I have actually done that.
And it was genius.
Yeah.
Because it's like, okay, she had her pre-workout by the bed. She slept in her gym clothes. So all she had to do is wake up, have her pre-workout, and go to the gym. So I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
Another thing that I've been incorporating is if I'm tight on time, I will actually just YouTube. I'm sure there's an app out there, but I will just YouTube like quick upper body workout and it's 20 minutes.
Yep.
And you will be surprised what you can do with your body weight. And then I'm saving because it takes me 15 minutes to get to the gym. So I literally lose 30 minutes a day.
Yes.
Just commuting to the gym. So if you can do it at home, you do not need a ton of equipment.
No.
You just use your body.
What's amazing about that scenario is a lot of people, like what I used to do is, oh, I don't have an hour at the gym. Like, you're like, oh, I don't have time. But it's like, no, you can make 20 minutes a day and just do it from your house. So
just don't watch Netflix, okay?
Yeah.
Or save.
Or do it while you're watching Netflix.
Do it while you're watching Netflix.
So something is better than nothing. And taking that approach of, okay, this 20-minute workout, maybe it's not as good as an hour-long workout.
No, I get sore.
But I personally...
my 20-minute workouts rock.
Yeah, I actually try and only be at the gym now for 30 to 40 minutes. I'm like in and out and like get things done.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times people are just on their phones. They're wasting a lot of time. And so, you don't need couple hour-long workouts. Like you really don't.
No.
And so something is better than nothing. And then one thing I do want to touch on too is fueling your body. So your body runs on carbs, and unless you're doing keto, but I always eat some sort of carb and a little bit of protein before my workout. Fat is very slow digesting. So typically I find that I get a little bit lethargic if I eat fat right before my workout. So I usually just do a little bit of protein, some carbs. I do drink caffeine, so I have a pre-workout that I take, but I'm not saying that that's the best thing to do, but that does help me. And it also, I love the taste of it. So it kind of gets me excited. So if you have something to look forward to and you give yourself some sort of reward. So I get excited for the taste of my pre-workout. And then I get excited because I know that I'm going to move my body and it feels good to me. And then after your workout, making sure that you're replenishing your glycogen stores. So if you're not, your body, it just like, especially if you're lifting weights, you're basically tearing those muscles down. And so you need to refuel yourself. So making sure you are getting both carbs and protein. And then I usually add a little bit of fat in there too.
Yeah, no, I love all of that. I always try to have a little bit of carbs, protein, and fat in every single meal that I have.
And I always do, except for before I work out.
Interesting. Cause I wake up hungry. So I have a regular breakfast of carbs, fats, and protein.
Oh, nice.
What else you got for us?
That was pretty, those are pretty, basic. So let's see, I would say setting realistic expectations with yourself is a good one. And then, having an accountability partner. So whether that's actually going and working out with someone, or, having a friend that you're like, hey, I'm going to do this. I'm telling myself I'm doing this. Like, let's do this together.
Yes.
I think that's really, really helpful to be accountable to someone. ideally, if you're married, maybe it's your spouse. Maybe you guys are doing it together and you're challenging each other. That's great. And then just doing it for, I always say, movement is medicine, but also kind of reframing your mind around it of, I get to work out, and not having it be a chore or this thing that you're doing to punish your body. And so kind of framing your mind around, okay, I get to work out. This is healthy for me. And so yeah, what, do you have any other tips?
No, I think that was it. I love it. I'm just excited for Nikki to release her PDFs for you guys.
Yes.
It is time.
We've
been waiting.
I have a lot of years of knowledge, and yeah, to be honest, I mean, like I said, I've tried everything. I know I hate the word diet, but I know a lot about all the different diets out there, all the different workout programs, and I've just found what's worked for me. So I think that's the biggest thing.
Yep.
And honestly, I feel like a lot of our episodes end in this of, do what's best for you, right?
Yeah.
Like, do what...
There's no one size fits all for anything.
There's not.
Like,
and so
I could never eat the way truthfully, how our friend Jess or Nikki eats. Like, I do what works for me.
Yeah.
And I feel like I know how I feel. And I'm pretty much 80-20. And I know that that's like trending right now and everyone is like on this wellness thing. But like for me, I'm actually way more focused on, the non-toxic side versus the macros side. So, and I know we have a friend Jess who's very macros focused. Like everyone is and then Nikki's holistic as well. So everyone kind of has their thing that they're drawn to.
Right.
But you just have to go through it. And for me, I've also tried a million things going back to my like early days.
And I think there's a piece to all of it, right?
Yeah, like you kind of have to go through all of it to figure out what works for you.
Yeah. If you've never tracked what you've eaten or like the movement that you're getting, like first and foremost, becoming aware of, oh yeah, I'm not moving my body. I haven't moved my body in 6 hours today.
I even think everyone should track in MyFitnessPal though for a little bit.
Yes.
Like don't become addicted and obsessed and like stressed about it. Like if it adds a ton of stress, like obviously we don't want you to be killing yourself over it. But yes, like the reason we're both able to be more on the intuitive side is because we did do years of tracking.
Yeah. I would say the ultimate goal is to listen to your body, be able to be on the intuitive side. But yes, again, like you can't be on the intuitive side unless you have that basic knowledge. And
it's building, that's an episode that was like building a healthy relationship with food.
Yeah.
Cause I know like everyone struggles with that.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. And so yeah, again, if you are a beginner and you're just like, okay, I want to start a workout program and I don't know where to start, I would say, like decide when you're going to work out. If your schedule is crazy and you're working from, let's say 9 a.m. to 7 p.m., the likelihood of you working out at night is probably pretty slim.
Yeah. I don't like working out at night.
Yeah.
Even me. I know that about myself.
I get tired. Yeah. So I ideally like to work out in the morning. Even if I lift weights at night, I still do some sort of movement in the morning. It just helps wake me up and, you know, and, yeah. And then following a plan and having an accountability partner and all the other tips that we said,
I love this.
But basically just creating something that works for you and that's doable for you. Yep. I think where a lot of people go wrong is they get really gung ho one day and they're like, okay, I'm motivated and I'm going to work out for 2 hours every single day. And I'm going to not drink soda and I'm not going to do this. And it becomes so overwhelming for them that it's not maintainable.
Yep.
And so starting out a little bit small of, okay, what's maintainable for you? And then building upon that.
I love it.
Yeah.
Okay, guys. Well, until next time, we're going to release these PDFs for you.
Yes.
They will be there. This is for us. Okay. All right. Love you guys.
Thanks for listening to Building with Vitality.
Be sure to like, share, and subscribe for more.
Love you guys.